Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavani Paschata Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yatkrupa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurundi Natarine Hare Krishna. So we are in verse 23rd verse. Krishna explained about the three types of knowledge in three different modes. Now Krishna starts explaining about the action in different modes. So based on the knowledge, we'll do particular type of actions. So the way we have knowledge, accordingly, we will do actions in mode of goodness, passion or ignorance. So this is about Satvikam Uchyate, about goodness. Okay. Niyatam Sangha Rahitam
Niyatam Sangarhitam
Araga Dveshata Kritam
Araga Dvesata Kritam
Phala Suna Karma
Apala Prepsuna Karma
Yattat Satvikam Uchyate.
Yattat Satvikam Uchyate. Niyatam Sangarahitam Araga Deva Satah Kritam Aphala Prepsuna Karma Yattat Satvikam Uchyate.
Niyatam Sangaragitam Aragadvestakratam Apalaprepsuna Karma Yattat Satvikam Uchyate.
Translation and purport. The action which is regulated, which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, without desire for future results, it's said to be in the mode of goodness. Purport. Regulated occupational duties as described in the scriptures in terms of different orders and division of society performed without attachment or proprietary rights, and therefore without any love or hatred, and performing Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the Supreme without self-satisfaction, self-gratification, are called actions in mode of goodness. So, what was the knowledge in the mode of goodness? Is the consideration of spirit soul in all bodies. So here Krishna gives this word is all are important, but this niyatam means regulated. So for each ashram there are some activities and some duties that are to be done in scriptures, but just doing that once does not help. It should be done niyatam, means regularly. That's why in Vedic culture practicing is very important. So waking up early every day, taking baths say 3 times a day every day, doing particular practice or chanting particular rounds or reading particular number of shlokas, it is very important, because these are the injections in scriptures that you should do this thing this many times, uh, this yagya this many times. So these all are activities to be done daily with fixed or variable number of repetitions, but every day. So regular, that's why regularity in your habits or your schedule very important. What time you sleep, what time you wake up, and what you do every day after waking up, all this is important, and because that gives the mode of goodness. And sangarahitam, so without associating with the result, raga dvesha taha kutam, forgetting what is good, what is bad, what is I like, what I don't like. Aphala prep suna, without desiring any results for ourselves, just working for the God. So the activity in mode of goodness is, we saw that just do the prescribed duties because they are mentioned in the Shastra. So do it as a duty. So that is actually mode of goodness. Do it as your duty. Do it sincerely and seriously as your duty, and not get attached to any results. Don't try to avoid or overdo any activity, because it is regulated activities. So regulated activities will help to increase the consciousness. How it helps is, uh, because if you have regulated habits or practices, then your mind knows what is to be done in what time and when, how. So because of that, the mind becomes more clear and focused. If we keep on changing our activities every day, and do it at different times, so sometimes sleeping at 10 o'clock, sometimes sleeping at 12 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock, if you do like this, the mind cannot sit. But if you daily sleep at 8 10 o'clock, say for example, then the mind knows now it's 10 o'clock, so I have to sleep. So doing the activities regularly is important for uh, mind's peace, and also it helps in to be in mode of goodness because of the regularity of the activities. The intelligence and uh, is more focused on the higher things rather than the daily things. So daily things becomes a practice, and then you get extra time that can be utilized for spiritual realizations. So goodness in this way actually helps. So if you are not attached to the results, you are not attached to avoiding any work or overdoing anything, then in the time that you spend in unnecessary things is reduced. How? So I don't like few things. So to avoid those things, you have to use your intelligence, so that I will not have to do those things. Or I like doing something. So always seeking or always trying to have same activity so that you will be happy. So this type of adjustments, avoiding and doing, requires intelligence to be used. So intelligence gets used, mind gets used. So if you see in one day, in so many things, if the mind starts get engaging, um, it becomes tired, right? So and then there is no space for any spiritual practice. But when our lifestyle is simple and we are not attached to the results, and with the activities in that consciousness, whatever good or bad, whatever happens is okay, I'm just doing my part, rest is whatever God thinks that will happen. So if you have this consciousness, you don't have to spend time unnecessary thinking what will be the result. If the result is good, I will be praised. If the result is bad, oh, what should be my explanation? There are so many things actually that go in our mind when we are attached to particular things. So Krishna says, you do this type of actions, then that is in the mode of goodness. And that will help us to, mode of goodness means knowledge and happiness. So we get that by this practice of actions. Uh, So not doing the actions with too much attachment or too much detachment also is not good. So too much detachment does not mean that you give up all the activities. Krishna has told in the beginning that you cannot live without doing any activity. So don't try to avoid the activity, but do it in a proper mood of service or duty. Then that activity itself is your liberating source, or way to get liberated. Right? So this way, the mode of goodness is conducive to the spiritual practice, and that way you can slowly rise to the higher consciousness. Okay, so thank you very much. This is sattvic action. So tomorrow we'll see about the rajasic and then tamasic actions. And then Krishna will explain about the doers, different doers. Okay, any comments? Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you.